Misunderstandings in communication are a common occurrence in both personal and professional settings. They often arise due to differences in perception, language, cultural backgrounds, and communication styles. Avoiding such misunderstandings requires a proactive approach that encompasses clarity, empathy, attentiveness, and adaptability. The ability to communicate effectively is not just about speaking, but also about listening, interpreting, and responding in ways that minimize confusion and foster mutual understanding. This article delves into the comprehensive strategies one can employ to prevent misunderstandings and enhance the quality of communication. At the core of effective communication is clarity. When conveying a message, it is essential to be as clear and specific as possible. Vague language, ambiguous terms, and assumptions can easily lead to misinterpretation. Instead of saying, "Do that thing we discussed," specify exactly what action needs to be taken, by whom, and by when. Clear articulation of ideas, using straightforward and concise language, helps the receiver grasp the intended meaning without the need for guesswork. It also helps to structure your messages logically, guiding the listener or reader through your thoughts in a coherent manner. Active listening is equally important in preventing misunderstandings. Often, people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. This can lead to overlooking key details or misjudging the speaker's intent. Active listening involves giving full attention to the speaker, avoiding interruptions, and reflecting on what is being said. It includes nonverbal cues such as nodding, maintaining eye contact, and using affirmative gestures to show engagement. Moreover, paraphrasing or summarizing the speaker's message can confirm that the message has been understood correctly. For instance, saying, "So what you're saying is," followed by a summary, allows for immediate clarification if there is a discrepancy in understanding. Asking questions is another vital strategy. When there is any uncertainty about the message received, it is better to seek clarification than to make assumptions. Questions such as, "Can you elaborate on that point?" or "Did you mean this or that?" help clear up potential ambiguities. This not only shows that the listener is engaged, but also encourages the speaker to explain their thoughts more thoroughly. Open-ended questions, in particular, promote detailed responses and help uncover the full context of the communication. Nonverbal communication plays a significant role in how messages are perceived. Body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and eye contact can reinforce or contradict the spoken word. Being aware of one's own nonverbal cues and interpreting those of others accurately is crucial. A message delivered with crossed arms and a stern tone might be interpreted as defensive or aggressive, even if the words are neutral. Therefore, aligning nonverbal behavior with verbal communication ensures consistency and reduces the risk of mixed messages. Written communication requires special attention since it lacks the nonverbal context of face-to-face interactions. In emails, texts, and other forms of written communication, tone and intent can easily be misunderstood. To mitigate this, it's important to be precise and courteous. Use proper grammar, punctuation, and formatting to make the message easy to read and understand. Including a summary or key takeaways at the end of a longer message can help reinforce important points. When necessary, follow up with a phone call or in-person discussion to ensure the message was received and understood as intended. Cultural differences can also lead to misunderstandings, especially in diverse or international environments. Cultural norms influence how people interpret messages, express themselves, and interact with others. What is considered polite in one culture might be perceived as rude or too direct in another. To navigate this, it is essential to develop cultural awareness and sensitivity. Learning about the communication styles, values, and customs of different cultures can prevent unintentional offense and foster more inclusive communication. When in doubt, showing respect, asking questions, and being open to learning can bridge cultural gaps. Adapting communication style to suit the audience is another key factor. Different people have different preferences and expectations when it comes to communication. Some may prefer direct and concise messages, while others appreciate a more detailed and relational approach. Understanding the audience and adjusting the message accordingly increases the likelihood that it will be received and interpreted correctly. This adaptability demonstrates respect for the listener's perspective and enhances the overall effectiveness of communication. Feedback mechanisms are invaluable for preventing and correcting misunderstandings. Encouraging feedback allows the communicator to gauge whether the message has been understood as intended. It also creates an opportunity for the receiver to express any confusion or concerns. Constructive feedback should be welcomed and acted upon to improve future interactions. Regularly checking in with team members, colleagues, or conversation partners can reveal issues early and prevent small misunderstandings from escalating into larger problems. Emotional intelligence plays a vital role in communication. Recognizing and managing one's own emotions, as well as understanding the emotions of others, contributes to more empathetic and effective interactions. Emotional intelligence involves self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management. When individuals are attuned to emotional cues, they can respond more appropriately and avoid reactions that might trigger misunderstandings. For example, addressing a sensitive topic with empathy and patience rather than impatience or frustration can lead to a more constructive dialogue. Technology has introduced new challenges and opportunities in communication. With the rise of digital platforms, people often communicate via instant messaging, social media, or virtual meetings. These platforms can sometimes strip communication of context and nuance, increasing the risk of misunderstandings. To counter this, it is important to choose the appropriate medium for the message. Complex or sensitive topics are better discussed via phone or video call than over text. Using emojis or tone indicators can help convey emotional context in written messages, but they should be used judiciously and in appropriate settings. Setting clear expectations from the outset can preempt many misunderstandings. Whether in a professional project or a personal relationship, outlining roles, responsibilities, timelines, and desired outcomes ensures everyone is on the same page. Miscommunication often stems from differing assumptions about what is expected. By clearly defining these parameters and revisiting them as needed, communicators can reduce ambiguity and foster accountability. Conflict resolution skills are essential when misunderstandings do occur. No matter how careful one is, miscommunications are inevitable from time to time. What matters is how they are addressed. Approaching conflicts with a solution-oriented mindset, staying calm, and focusing on the issue rather than the person helps to resolve misunderstandings constructively. Apologizing when necessary, seeking to understand the other person's perspective, and finding common ground can restore trust and improve future communication. Time and attention are also key components of effective communication. In our fast-paced world, multitasking during conversations or rushing through messages can lead to mistakes and misinterpretations. Giving undivided attention to the communication process signals respect and increases the likelihood of mutual understanding. Taking time to review written messages before sending them, or to pause and reflect before responding in conversation, can prevent hasty errors and clarify intent. Building rapport and trust over time enhances communication. When people feel safe and valued, they are more likely to communicate openly and honestly. Trust reduces the tendency to second-guess or read negative intent into messages. Developing strong interpersonal relationships through consistent, respectful, and transparent communication lays the foundation for clearer understanding. Regular check-ins, empathy, and shared experiences contribute to this rapport. Language proficiency can be a barrier to clear communication, especially in multilingual environments. Ensuring that language is used appropriately for the audience is crucial. Avoiding idioms, slang, or overly complex vocabulary helps non-native speakers better understand the message. Encouraging the use of a common language for key communications and providing language support where needed can significantly reduce misunderstandings. Documentation and record-keeping can serve as a safeguard against miscommunication, especially in formal settings. Written agreements, meeting minutes, and project plans provide a reference point that can be revisited if confusion arises. This is particularly useful in collaborative environments where multiple people are involved. Clear documentation ensures continuity and alignment, even if personnel change or time passes between communications. Maintaining consistency in communication helps build reliability and reduces confusion. When messages are consistent across channels and over time, it reinforces their credibility and clarity. In contrast, conflicting messages or frequent changes in direction can create doubt and misunderstanding. Ensuring that all parties involved receive the same information and that updates are communicated promptly and clearly is essential. Encouraging a culture of open communication is vital. When individuals feel that they can speak up, ask questions, and express concerns without fear of judgment or reprisal, misunderstandings are more likely to be identified and addressed early. Leaders and communicators who model openness, actively seek input, and listen with empathy create an environment where communication flourishes. Personal development and ongoing learning in communication skills contribute to long-term success. Participating in workshops, reading literature on communication, and seeking feedback on one's communication style can highlight areas for improvement. As with any skill, communication improves with practice and reflection. Becoming more aware of one's habits, biases, and tendencies allows for more intentional and effective interactions. In conclusion, avoiding misunderstandings in communication requires deliberate effort, awareness, and a commitment to continuous improvement. By focusing on clarity, active listening, cultural sensitivity, emotional intelligence, and appropriate use of technology, individuals can significantly enhance their communication effectiveness. Ultimately, effective communication is about building understanding and connection, which are foundational to all human relationships and endeavors. Whether in everyday conversations or high-stakes negotiations, the principles of clear and empathetic communication can help navigate complexity and foster meaningful engagement.